But you don't have to be an alpha male to be a super successful, high-performance person. There's only one other alpha male in that hall of fame. Good morning. This reminds me, for the military guys, when I don't really like good morning because they say good morning. What's fucking good about it, Pena? You're the sorriest fucking excuse for a man, army man in this man's army. So when people say good morning, I have flashbacks for that, no matter what. It's been 40 fucking years, and I still think of that. And I had a first sergeant who was a big hero from the Korean War. And I don't mean to be racist, and for those of you on YouTube, go fuck yourself. But he says, when we used to have what's the spirit of the bayonet? It used to be to kill. I don't know what the spirit of the bayonet might be, to be shake hands now or something, because of being politically correct. But they say to you that it's very difficult, because he couldn't speak English. He was from Kentucky and he was illiterate. He went to school till about the second grade. It's very difficult to take a fucking, again, not being politically incorrect, a fucking kook off your bayonet. So you got to wiggle him like a sausage. You got to wiggle him like a sausage, and when you put him on the ground, you step on his chest and you crush his fucking ribs. And then you can take the bayonet out of his chest. And this is how I was raised. And my dad raised me just like that. I had the difference between me and everybody in this room and most everybody that's listening on YouTube is I had an alpha fucking male for a father. A war hero. Like in the movies. Superhero. And everybody he knew was a superhero. And if you've seen the movie Band of Brothers on TV, about the 101st Airborne, if I remember correctly. 2 or 3 of those guys were my dad's best friends. And what did your dads do? There used to be a movie. What did your dad do in the war? He ran a corner shop. He was a librarian. He was a janitor. And there's nothing wrong with those jobs. But it's not likely if your dad was a janitor that he was an alpha male war hero. Maybe, it's possible, but not likely. But you don't have to be an alpha male to be a super successful, high-performance person. There's only one other alpha male in that hall of fame. One. My Hall of Fame. One. All of them are, with the greatest respect, pussies like you. Cunts. Squat to go to the bathroom. But they made shit tons of money. And they created great wealth. And that's what I'm here to teach you. That's what I'm here to teach you. To create the wealth that would normally take a generation. And depending on how you want to measure it, a generation is between 20 and 25 years. We do it in between the real good ones in the room, if there are any, in 3 to 4 years. The also-rans in 6 to 8 years, and the dipshits in 10 to 15 years. So you've already categorized yourself in one of those groups. Mentally, I can see it in your eyes. Unfortunately, most of you related to the dipshit end, and that's too bad. Last night you saw the bicycle. Some of you probably think that you can ride that bike today. I'm here to bet you $1 million to $1. Nobody in this room can ride that bike. But that's what it's going to be like assimilating QLA. That's how different it is. Everything that you've learned, for those of you that are going to school now, throw it out the window. For those of you that have MBAs, throw it out the window. We have a young man here, other than he's Australian, which I don't have a lot of respect for Australians, other than I like to drink with him. He said something very astute, by accident, serendipity, when he was in the seminar here in April. He's a repeat. He's a 2-time loser, a repeat. He said, and how did you put it, Matt? That once you learned to something with the methodology, it was easier for you to assimilate?
Turn off the thinking part of the brain and do it.
And dumb down.
Yeah.
Dumb down, because he happens to be smart. So he's fighting the intellectual smartness that he's got. But if you dumb down, this is easy. Now some of you are already thick as 2 short planks. How does that translate from British English? Thick as 2 short planks is dumb as a post. So you're already halfway there. You're already halfway there. And for those of you that we have some 80 IQ people up on the Hall of Fame, and we've got some 170 IQ people on the Hall of Fame. Funny enough, the 80 IQ made more money than the 170 IQ. So you have learned some different financial instruments to use. You know, arguably, ostensibly how to go to a bank and borrow money. How do you blah, blah, blah. Well, now what you're going to learn the next week is to be able to conduct the entire financial orchestra. How to use all the tools. And there's really only one tool that you have to worry about. And that's why you have a dream team. Your dream team will supply all the knowledge you don't have. Some of you have been in trouble. Some of you have gone to jail. We've had murderers in this seminar. Now, we don't have any this trip, unless you didn't tell me the truth on your paperwork. But we've had murderers. We've had convicted felons. We've had convicted terrorists, convicted drug dealers, milkmen, school teachers, rabbis, dentists, doctors. And today we're going to have a webinar with a surgeon, mentee of mine, a vascular surgeon. Now, why would a vascular surgeon to make 7 figures want to come to this fucking seminar? Most of you aspire to make 7 figures a year. Why would he come? Because he knows down deep inside he's not being all that he can be. He knows down deep inside there's more. And this is about as religious as I get in the seminar. Whoever made us, whoever put us here, whether it was serendipity, like Darwin says, or some higher being. I believe that we were put here to be all that we can be, not a fraction thereof. And heretofore, you've been a fraction thereof. Heretofore, and for those of you that have made a few shekels, a few dollars, it will pale in complexion to what you can really do once you prove yourself. Now, there was another thing you saw last night, which was Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft. In a couple of words, what's the takeaway from watching Steve?
Always use metrics to track your progress.
What gets measured gets accomplished. You're going to learn that ad nauseum. Passion. He's a passionate guy. Now, just imagine you compare your fucking milquetoast personality to his. Now, he's an alpha male. Bill Gates isn't an alpha male. And the other thing you saw was, the Lions. When they snuck up on the Lions, right? Now, you guys would be caucusing. You'd be doing common consensus back to know, when do we think we ought to get up on those lines? You'd be talking about it still. And what happened? The truth of the matter is most of the things that you're afraid of doing, the people that you're doing it to, and I don't mean that as like they're a victim, are more afraid of you than you are of them. And I'll tell you the story about the Maasai warrior that I sat and shared a meal with 3 years ago. And and he said, the bottom line is, do you think that we all want to go fucking kill those lions, Dan? Do you think we're crazy? Any questions about the movies that you saw last night, or any comments, general comments? You'll have homework almost every night. This last night was the first night that you don't have written homework, where you're going to have to come back and you have to respond to me. In the mornings, we do YouTube for a few minutes, then we do YouTube again after lunch, and then we do YouTube before we break for the evening. And this week we have 4 webinars, 4 live webinars that we produce and we send out to my active mentees, one of which is a webinar with Matt because he's here, but the other 3 webinars will be with 3 people that have just recently gone through the program. And we talk about their progress or the lack thereof. We're going to talk to, we're going to hear our 18-year-old superstar, Kim, who has done what I give you a year to do in 38 days. I'm going to say that again, just in case that maybe perhaps your brain's a little clogged up. I give you a year to do that he did in 38 days. I give you a year to do and he did it in 38 days. And you're going to figure out all the reasons why you can't do it in 38 days. Didn't go to schools, got no education. I can go on and on. So Josh, don't get your head too fucking big because I'm sure you're listening to this. But we're going to listen to him. And some of you have already turned off the fact that he's 18 years old. He started when he was 17. Because you've got all kinds of reasons why he was able to do it and you can't do it. You'll come up with reasons why he was able to do it and he's 38. He's 20 years. Josh thinks he's an old man because he's 38 and Josh is 18. By the way, I just want to go around the room age. Okay, 38, 53, go back 15, right? I hear that, 15. You've had a hard life if you're only 39. I mean, you've been ridden hard and put away wet. Something happened to you. Now, for those that are listening on YouTube, my demographics have gone, it used to be 35 to 55. My demographics are now 15 to 30. 35 year old here now, and then there's a few stumble in at 50, stagger in, with their canes and in their wheelchairs. But for the most part, and that says 2 things about what's happening, even though I think the world's going to fucking hell in a handbasket, the kids are waking up because of social media, because they have so much information now available to them. They're smartening up quicker. And what's easy about the program now, easier, is because you can do all the homework that used to take shoe leather meaning you had to go see people on the internet. Now that's the good news and the bad news. The good news is you can get it done a lot quicker. The bad news is you can get it done a lot quicker. So then that means you think you have more time and you take a fucking year. We're going to talk about a guy that thought because I gave you a year in the mentor program, he took a year to make his first acquisition. He took a year. He spaced his time out. The 38-day kid, what's the soonest anybody's ever done it? I said, I did it in about 6 weeks. Oh, that was his benchmark. And the 1-year guy is a Yale, Columbia, MBA, Ivy League, intellect. Josh was 17, now 18-year-old, no school, homeschooled. Am I saying that right? When you're homeschooled? He's homeschooled. His dad is a West Pointer, full colonel, and his dad, disciplined. The kid, squared away. He's the most squared away 17-year-old I probably ever met. He really's got his shit together. Some of you have no shit together. Meaning shit together means your life is not in balance, because there is no fucking balance in life. We'll get to that. But you understand who you are, what you are, and where you want to go. That's being squared away.